So we are live. Yay. As usual, we're having a little technical difficulties there, but we're back at it. So I want to take the time to thank everyone for joining us today for Taiki Talk. And for those of you who don't know what Taiki Talk is, it's my bi-weekly live stream that I have fantastic experts come on and give advice and tell their stories about various topics. And so today I'm super excited. I'm also recovering from a cold, so my voice is in and out. Today I'm super excited to have Lixxy Harkcom come on to the show. I'm so excited to have her. She's brilliant. I love talking to her. She's amazing. But she's also, more importantly, why she's on the show. She's the CEO of the Six Figure Success Club, which helps women go from small business owners to six-figure CEOs. At 23, she was divorced and living on a sofa after leaving an emotionally abusive marriage. She changed her whole life and built a multi six-figure corporate career by the age of 31. I don't know what I was doing at 31, but I didn't have a multi six-figure corporate career. Now she's on a mission to get more money into the hands of more women while they do something that they're passionate about. So please join me in welcome me. I didn't finish the word. Welcoming her to the lovely Taiki Talk. How are you doing, Lexi?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So we're going to jump right into it. And I'm so inspired by your story, and I'm sure
Thank
our
you.
viewers will be too. So give me a little bit of your story, and can you tell me how you made that unbelievably brave leap from redundancy, or as we say in the States, layoff, from layoff, focusing on your coaching career, and just tell us about your coaching career and it's tell us your story. Tell us about you.
Thank you. So I've just finished a decade, just under a decade in corporate. And as you said, I got very successful in corporate very early, which I am very proud of and very grateful for. And when I turned 31 and realized the level of success that I was at, I realized that I wanted to help other women who wanted to do awesome things and felt like they were stuck or couldn't do it. And that's when I started the coaching business because I felt like that was the best way for me to help other people. So I've been running it alongside working in corporate for 3 years now. And it's been amazing and I love it. And it's what I spend all of my outside of corporate time doing. Really enjoyed corporate. I was still being very successful in corporate. I still had corporate goals that I wanted to hit. But in March, I found out that I was affected by the latest round of redundancies. And it gave me an opportunity to assess what I wanted to do now. My plan had always been to eventually do the business full time, but that was plan wasn't for now. That was like a few years down. I still had a couple of goals that I wanted to hit in corporate before I left. But the decision was made for me. I was being asked to leave the company, and I made the decision that I didn't want to go and look for another corporate job. I thought it was a blessing in disguise and gave me a good opportunity to do my kind of side hustle full time. So that's the decision that I've made. And as of the 29th of April, I'm officially no longer in corporate and I'm a
Yay.
full-time CEO.
So tell me about that. Tell me like who you work with. When you say corporate women to CEOs, are you talking about small business owners? Are you talking about becoming going from small business owner to like acting as CEO in your own business or going the reverse what you did, which is back into corporate?
No, so it's specifically online business owners, so online service providers. So whether you're a coach or a social media marketing manager, or whatever it is you're doing, some sort of online service provider business, the idea is to help those people that have had an amazing idea but have just kind of started a business and don't really know anything about running a multi six-figure successful company, helping them grow their business so that they get the level of success that they were kind of dreaming about when they had the idea. Because quite often what happens is somebody's had an amazing idea, they kind of set up an Instagram account or a TikTok, start a business, and then they haven't put the foundations in place in the business to be able to
Yeah.
scale it sustainably. And they're either not making the amount of money that they want to because they don't have the time to make more money, or they're just feeling really overwhelmed by what they're doing and they need a strategy. They need to work out how to manage their time more effectively. They might need to work on their mindset and the belief that they can do it. And that's where I come in. So I retrained as a business strategist last year. So I certified in that. And that's what I do now, is help business owners be more successful in their online business.
So if someone is a follow up on that question. So if someone they have an idea and they've kind of doing it like the side hustle, kind of like what you're doing, and they're like, I would like to make the transition to doing this full time. Is that something you would help with, or is it for
Yeah,
people who are like
absolutely.
in it full time?
Yeah, so I would
Okay.
do both. So if you're already doing it full time and you're making some money but not as much as you want to, I'd love to work with you. But on the flip side, if you're still working full time in corporate or whatever your job is and trying to make the business successful alongside that, then yeah, absolutely, that's where I come in.
So how do you approach, you told us a bit about your story and how you use what happened to you as motivation to succeed, and that made you want to give back to other women. So what advice do you have for our audience to turning I'm allergic to lemons, but let's just go with it. Lemon and lemonade. Like, how do you turn a difficult situation into a winning one when you're faced with a layoff, or, something suddenly happens and you're like, how do you start seeing it as an opportunity?
Yeah, and the first thing I'll say is that it's not easy. It's not a I wake up in the morning and I'm like, yay, I've been made redundant, although I kind of slightly am. But I've always looked at the idea of failing, which I'm going to say in inverted commas because I don't really believe in failing. I've always looked at it as it's a learning opportunity, and I failed fairly spectacularly fairly early on, in the fact that I got married. I got up in front of a room of all of my family and friends, told them I was going to spend my life with somebody, and then a year later was like, I think I made a mistake. I probably need to have not done that. And what I learned from that, it was really embarrassing to tell people that I was getting divorced and I was only 23. But what it made me see is that not everything lasts forever. Sometimes you make decisions that you think at the time are going to be the best things that you ever do, and they end up just not being, that ends up not being the case, because you change as a person, the people that you're involved with change, the circumstances change, the economy changes. There's just so many different variables that are happening all of the time, that we shouldn't put the pressure on ourselves to think of everything, that every decision that we make has to be the final thing that we do. And that's now how I look at every decision that comes up. It's on the face of it, it might look like a negative, but how can you turn it into a learning opportunity or a positive? So it would have been really easy for me, and I know a lot of my family and friends had this exact reaction when I got made redundant. They panicked because I suddenly don't have a stable income and I'm now working for myself, and what if I don't get any clients and I can't pay my bills? And I love them for that. I think it's great that they're concerned on my behalf. I'm not concerned, because I think it's an amazing opportunity. In the worst case scenario, if I get no clients, I will go back and get another job. But I think it's given me a really good opportunity to do the thing that I'm really passionate about and that I've spent 3 years working on. It's given me that opportunity to do it full time. So that would be my advice for everyone, is kind of, on the face of it, it might look really scary and it might look like something bad is happening, but how can you turn it into something good, which is what I've attempted to do here.
So do you recommend to your clients who, let's say they suddenly lost their job, do you suggest they have like a time period, like, okay, give it 3 months and then make a decision? Like, how do you help them reframe things?
So if I've never actually worked with someone that's been in the same position as me, but if I that's been made redundant and is kind of questioning things. But if a client came to me and said, I've just been made redundant, I don't know what to do, the questions that I would be asking them are like, what's your financial situation? How long can you survive without being full-time employed? Do you have the right mindset to take the leap now and do your business full time? Because if your mindset's not right, if you don't believe that you
Yes.
can do it, you won't do it. So that would be a big question for me. And it would be really just kind of taking stock. And it doesn't have to be months, it could be a couple of hours or a day. Just take stock of kind of where you're at, how you're feeling, what is your personal situation, because obviously it's going to be different for everybody. And yeah, just take stock of what you want to do. And it could be that, yes, you're in the position to go full time in your business now. That's amazing. It could be that you want to go back into full-time work because you like the security of it. It could be that you want to do something part-time or freelance, so that you've got more time to work on the business while you're kind of growing it. But it would be very specific to each individual person.
Yeah, I've been laid off 3 times, maybe 4 times. I don't know. I decided to stop counting after three.
I
Like,
think that's fair.
oh, I always say something suddenly happens, like a layoff, or if maybe your kids are going to school or going off to school, it's always good to take a moment, take a beat to just kind of feel the feelings. Because if
Mm,
you try to push them down or push them away, they're still there. They're just gonna come knocking harder than ever.
yeah.
But I'm really glad that you mentioned mindset, because I'm obsessed with mindset. So, what would you say is the biggest mindset shift that people have to make in order to get from where they are, which they aren't thrilled about, to where they want to be?
So I think the biggest thing that I think most humans, we all struggle with, I think we all underestimate ourselves and what we're capable of. And that would be the one thing I kind of challenge my clients to look at is this: you're obviously passionate about what you're doing. Do you
Mm.
believe that you can do it? And if you don't believe that you can do it, why not? What's the thing that's stopping you feeling like you can do it? Because I guarantee whatever it is, it's not true. And that you're putting way too much pressure on yourself, and there's no reason that you couldn't go out and do it. And I'd get them to start challenging that, because yeah, like I said, we all underestimate ourselves. And it wasn't until I took stock of kind of where I got to at 31, and I kind of, even now, I kind of look back at it and I'm like, I can't actually believe that happened to little old me who was living on a sofa at 23. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Like, I'm nobody special. I've not done anything ridiculously amazing in my life to get to this level of success. So if I can do it, anyone can.
Yeah. And I always, I know we've talked about this before. I always ask my clients and people, just talking to them, like, is that true? What is that based on? And
Yeah.
usually it's like, yeah, it's true. And it's like, well, how do you know it's true? Was that based on? It's usually, most of the time, it's not actually based on a fact. It's based
Mm,
on a feeling they have, or someone told them, but it's not actually something objective that they can point to say, yeah, I can't succeed in having owning my own business or running my own business because I don't know what reason would be. I don't know. I'm I have too much on my plate right now.
mhm.
And it's quite possible. It's quite possible you have too much on your plate. And that's fine. But then it's like, okay, well, is that true? Is there anything you can take off your plate? But yeah, it's mindset work is something I work on every day.
Mhm.
Every day.
Yeah.
Um, so talking about having too much on your plate, my plate generally overflow with. But so most women, most people, but particularly women, are juggling so many things. Family, their jobs, businesses, it just volunteer work, just everything, it seems like. So, what's one piece of actionable advice that you would give them to consider if they're thinking about starting their own business?
Oh, that's a great question. I love talking about time management. It's like a nerdy little thing that I am obsessed with. Like, how can I make more out of the time that I've got? And my advice around it is always to plan your time. So know when you're going to do everything and how long it's going to take, regardless of what it is. So if it's running your business or the 8 hours that you spend in corporate every day, whatever it is, make sure you've planned it in advance so that you can see how much of your time is being taken with your current workload. So I time block. That's kind of how I live my life. So everything goes in my calendar. And if it's not in my calendar, it's not happening. And that includes everything that's on my to-do list. So if there's an action that I need to take, it needs to be booked in the calendar so that I know when it's getting done, but also so that I know that I'm not overloading my workload. Because if there's no time in the calendar to do it, it's not going to get done. So that would be one of the kind of pieces of advice that I give is, yeah, plan out your time and look at how much spare time you've actually got based on what you're doing at the moment. so that you know whether you can fit in running a side business or removing corporate so that you can run your business full time. But yeah, just look at kind of your workload now and whether you're managing what you're currently doing and whether you can fit more things in.
So what if they say, I'm just role playing, because I think it's fun. I'm waiting to get my Oscar, or my BAFTA. What if they say, okay, you know what? That sounds great. I've read that before, but my time really isn't my own. My twins come barging in whenever, and I need to take care of that. Stop what I'm doing, take care of them, or I have to do various things. So my time isn't really my own. So I don't know how much sometimes something makes, because maybe I'll take 10 minutes today, I'll take half an hour tomorrow. Like, oh, I don't know how to prioritize.
That is a great question. I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with. I disclaimer, I don't have kids. So if this isn't something that I struggle with because I don't have them, but I do empathize with those of you that do because I know that it takes a village to raise kids, which is why I don't have them. But based on my experience with working with other people that do have kids or that are running businesses that have got kids, I was talking to one of my coaches. So I have a coach myself. I was talking to her this week and she was talking about when she was starting her business and she had a 3-year-old and she would work on her business when he was napping because it was the only time that she knew that he wouldn't be around. And I think the advice that I would give is that it's going to be tough, even if you've got kids or not got kids. Running a business is tough, and it
Yes.
just depends on how passionate you are about doing it and whether you want to find 10 or 15 minutes every so often to do a little bit of something. It doesn't have to be taking the whole day out to do all of the work right now, but one of my favorite mottos or mantras is that it's the small consistent changes that you'd make over the long term that make the difference. So what can you do regularly and consistently to work on your business? And whether that is that you get up 10 minutes before your kids get up in the morning so that you can respond to messages from potential clients or whatever it is, find those little things that you can do. Maybe it's doing a LinkedIn post while you're making your morning coffee, or habit stacking is probably one of my favorite things to do. But find those little things that you can do while you're already doing other things so that you're not taking more time out of your day, but you're making the most of the time that you've already got. So if you're walking the dog, maybe you're sending voice notes to clients, or if you're on the treadmill, I don't know why I went for another walking one, that was a terrible example, but you get the idea. Like, what do you already do that you can then kind of add another habit to so that you can work on your business while you're already doing things in your routine that happen already?
Yeah, I can't remember if one of my sons made an appearance when we talked, but one of the things we talked about is I am not a morning bird. So I would not get up 10 minutes earlier, right? Because it sounds like 10 minutes isn't that big, but 10 minutes is one snooze hit, one
Mm.
snooze. But um, one of the things, and I know it took a while for me to get to this point, but one of the best investments I made in myself and in my business was actually getting an assistant,
Mm.
an executive assistant, because I couldn't do it all. I'm working a day job. I had my business I was building. I couldn't do it. Oh, I had twin toddlers or babies, and then now they're toddlers. I couldn't do it all, and I was trying to, and I was tired, and I couldn't do it. So ask for help. That's my biggest thing. Even if you don't have kids, ask for help. You
Yeah,
can't do everything. You can't.
no,
It's impossible.
absolutely. And it makes it way less fun when you try to because it stresses you out, you get overwhelmed. So yeah, I would completely agree that even though you are the CEO of your business, that doesn't mean you have to do everything. You should
Yes.
absolutely delegate the things that you don't want to do or don't have time to do.
Mhm. I used to call it my 3D method. It was do, delegate, or delete. So there are things that you have to do because no one else could do it. There are things that has to be done, but you don't have to do it, so you can delegate it. And then there are things that don't have to be done, but you just like to do it. Yeah, well, that's what I do. I don't know. I dust every day. It's like to dust every day. If it's not something that you do because it calms you down or something, but it's just something you're used to and it stresses you out if you don't for whatever reason,
Mm,
consider delegating that or consider if that's really something that you have to do. I mean, you just have to get creative. And like you
yeah.
said, figure out, do you really want to do it? What's that saying? You'll find a reason or you'll find an excuse.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, if you're doing something because it's the way it's always been done, or because you've always done it, then that's the things that you need to be questioning. Why are you doing them? Are you doing them because they are necessary, or are you doing them because it's a habit that you've gotten used to? So yeah, really question what you're spending your time doing.
Yeah. And is it working? Because sometimes we
Mm.
just keep doing things and it's not working, but we just keep doing them because, like you said, sometimes we just don't have the brain width to think of something different to do. Like, well,
Exactly.
how do I do this differently? I don't know. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm not saying that I've done that. I'm saying that I have friends who have done that.
It's so true though. Like we know we've got like a whole list of things that we need to do, so we do something that's not on the list because
No,
it makes us feel better.
yes. What? So can you give me an example of the biggest aha moment that either you've experienced yourself or one of your clients have experienced? It's love to. I like being inspired, so it's always like to hear inspirational stories and
Sure. So mine is that I set myself a goal of retiring my mum, which I did last year, which is very exciting. So she was a full-time
oh
nurse for like 30 years and she is retired now, which I did. So I financially
gosh,
retired her, which is very exciting. So she had some health challenges and just couldn't nurse anymore. So now she doesn't. So that's my biggest success. That's the thing that I love the most of all of the things that I've done. That's my favorite. And then my favorite kind of client success story, I was working with a client who was working full time, doing a PhD, and running a business at the same time. And she she obviously wanted to pass her PhD. She had a revenue goal, and we worked together for 3 or 4 months. And she got a PhD and she hit her revenue goal. She's now also got a baby as well. So she's just doing all the things, which is very exciting.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love that. My mom is already. I point by that she was listening, but she's also retired. I did not retire her, but she lives with me, so. So how can people work with you? Do you do one-on-one? Do you do group coaching? How can they find you?
Yeah,
Tell
so
us
it's
all the
primarily
deets.
one-on-one at the moment because everybody's business is so specific that I think it works better. I'm on Instagram is the most active place where I spend most of my time. But as we're on LinkedIn, I am also on LinkedIn. So if you want to connect with me on there, then please do. My website is six figure success.club. So you can find some free resources on there and also the link to apply to work with me as well.
Awesome. And you have, is it a weekly Instagram live? What?
Yes, which you will
Yeah,
have
I
got
just
from
know because
last
I was
week.
on
Yeah, so it's called Stepping into Success, and it's Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And I interview awesome business owners like you to inspire my audience and give them a bit like what we've talked about today. So if you are in a position where you're kind of thinking about starting a business or you've started a business and you're not really sure about it, I interview other business owners who are doing cool things and get to know kind of the journey that they've been on and the struggles that they've had so that my audience can learn the other things that other people are going through and realize that you're absolutely not alone. And any of the struggles you feel like you're having, there are so many other people that are having the exact same problems.
it. So that's 7 o'clock your time,
UK
two
time,
o'clock
yes.
Eastern time,
Yeah,
which is where I am. And so that would be 11 o'clock Pacific time. So tune in live on Instagram and
every
step
Wednesday.
into success and see it live, or it saves on
It
your
does, yeah, on the Six Figure
yeah.
Success Club Instagram
So
page.
you can check out past ones. You can check out the one I did last week. You can see them all. And, thank you so much for joining us today. It's
Thanks
always
for
a
having me.
pleasure. I enjoy talking to you because
You too.
I just enjoy talking to you. Um,
We'll just keep doing
so
these every week. We'll just keep alternating.
So if you want to step in success and you want to have six-figure income and you want to be a CEO, six-figure CEO, be sure to contact Lexi because she is The bomb. I was gonna say something else, but that's not polite. So next Tuesday, same time, same bat place. We're gonna have, and this is a topic that's particularly close to my heart. It was stepping away from the career world, and we're going to talk about how to get picky eaters, children, how to get picky children eaters. Wait, no, not people who eat children. How to get, how to get picky, wait, children who are picky eaters. How's that? Children who are picky eaters to be more adventurous and try new things because my boys, they're just not having it. But we're going to be having a fantastic guest, and Dr. Victoria Saunders, who's a close and personal friend of mine, but she's also a brilliant pediatrician. So I'm excited to talk to her about that. Again, it's close to my heart. So if you guys know someone who would enjoy it, or if you yourself are a picky eater and you can use these tips, that's fine. Just don't go around eating children because that's illegal. So I'll see you guys next Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. You can check out Lexi's Instagram live Tuesdays at 2 Eastern time, 7 o'clock British time, and 11 o'clock. What was that? What's the time? You think I would know East and
Too
West?
many
Oh my
time
goodness.
zones.
Oh yeah, too many time zones. So everyone, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today and sharing your brilliance. And
Thanks for having
everyone
me.
have a great day. Bye.
Bye.